So, hey Niraj, hi. So, welcome to the second episode. And I've already just given a brief idea that why we are doing it. So, for you as well. So, there are a lot of folks who have a lot of doubts how to actually get into data science field and how to prepare for interviews and what kind of interviews are there and how was the experience. So, people who have just recently joined would be the best folks to actually give their advice and experience. And that would really help a lot of folks. So first of all, congratulations that you just joined as a senior data scientist in Paytm. So yeah.
Yeah,
So do you
thanks,
want to say
thanks.
anything, or maybe we can start? So the first bit, everybody would be actually very interested in what kind of background you had.
Yeah, yep, yeah, definitely. So from a background standpoint,
Mhm.
I just like every other college graduate. So I was from Tier 3 college. I did my computer engineering there. So I tried my hands on couple of things, and I got interested a bit in machine learning. From there
Mhm.
on, so through I guess through one of the competitions, I joined ZS. I got an opportunity in ZS, so I
Okay, and
started
what kind of
immediately.
competition was that? Because that's very interesting to know. Yeah.
Yeah, so this was ZS Young Data Science Challenge. So
Mhm.
I don't know they still do it or not. I mean, they at least continued for like 3 4 years at that time, 1 year before me, and at least 2 years after I joined. So yeah, so that the basically the theme around that competition was they did some hacker earth test, which was like for 2 days,
Mhm.
some normal competition that we have on analytics with their type of thing. And then
Mhm.
from that they invited top 40 to Pune to do a offline hackathon, which was for
Okay.
like 10 hours. Yeah, so from there they selected couple of people.
And this is in a group or is it a solo hackathon? How's it?
No, it was solo only.
Okay. And problem statement and everything is given by them. You just need to work on it.
Yeah, yep. So the first
Okay.
one was bigger, where I mean you have like good resources, you have time as well, which was 2 3 days.
Mhm.
Whereas the second one was you have to do it on site in 10 hours.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that was the initial bit where you actually started. So then
yeah,
you joined.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, you can continue.
yeah. Yeah, so they provided me opportunity in terms of they asked me whether I can intern there as well or not.
Mhm.
So I went in at my time of college only. I interned for like 3 months. Then I went back and completed my last semester, and then I
Okay.
joined back as a full time employee. So yeah, that was a good starting point for me in terms like because competitions post that also I felt that okay, competitions are a good way for someone to enter into something, because I was when I was even in computer engineering, the way I was targeting about placements was also through like this competitive coding, doing competitive, because that was I was also on the track of maybe I'll go in SD and something like that. It was
Mhm.
at the last moment that I thought that okay, this work is more interesting, and I so yeah, but overall I really felt that competitions are a good I did found them, because post that also I used to do a lot of competitions, whether be it on analytics with their I used to do it just for fun, like okay, even if I don't want to change the job, I used to do it just for fun. That they were a fun thing. Yeah.
Okay. And one thing that you mentioned that it was a last minute thought. How last minute and what changed that you actually thought of switching from a software developer standpoint to data science?
Yeah, so basically the thing was I mean I did my I was learning both things. I was doing competitive coding, along with that I was learning front end and back end. So I
Okay.
did couple of things in front end and back end. I did something
Mhm.
for my college fest, but
Mhm.
then I realized no, this is something I can't do. I mean I got
Okay.
irritated a lot in that process,
Mhm.
even though I was pretty excited about it, but I got a lot uh, I got irritated a lot in that process. So that's where I got to know that okay, just like any ML newbie, I got to know about Endo and G's course.
Good.
So I thought
Okay.
maybe I'll just pursue it. I mean, I'll just
Mhm.
see uh, what happens. So but yeah, because of giving like that did provide me a good edge in terms of, because I was already doing Python
Mhm.
at the time of like doing back end and front end, and
Mhm.
then I was doing competitive as well. So the switch was very quick, like just when I
Okay.
learned ML through course, even though I was doing it in Octave and their assignments. but the switch was very quick for me. I was able to learn pandas very quickly and just try it because I was
Okay,
doing
good.
competitions. I was able to try my hands on quickly. So that's why I
Yeah,
got
so
uh,
learning curve wasn't
uh,
very steep because the programming aspect
uh,
you already knew. It was only the
yeah,
conceptual
exactly.
aspect that you wanted. Okay,
Hmm.
okay, got it.
Yeah. And
Okay, so
Andrew NG, we know he makes
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
conceptual
That's
aspects
the
very
first course that anybody enrolls. Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so it
Yeah.
started from GS. Okay, post that,
Yeah.
what did you actually
So
work on?
post
Yeah.
that, I mean, I'm also not so that is the thing which I also believe I might not have taken the right step. But yeah, overall it was like a good experience. So I got interested. So CS, honestly, CS has like very cool projects, short-lived
Mhm.
projects, but very cool projects. You get to learn a lot of things. You get to try your hands on a lot of things. But the
Mhm.
problem was the projects were short-lived and the work-life balance there was terrible. CS is
Okay,
not for
okay,
that.
okay.
So yeah, but I was planning to do my master's then. So I
Mhm.
got interested in reinforcement learning a lot. So there I thought maybe I'll join some other company, then I can put on some more time in terms of my master's. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, yeah, that didn't pan out. The research universities that I wanted, I wasn't able to get into that. So then I
Okay.
dropped that. So that's where I went to Pyramid Glass. So this was in my this was a very surprising company because this was in my hometown only, which is
Okay.
Vadodara,
Okay.
which is where you don't expect. So they were working alongside McKinsey
Mhm.
in the initial phases. So we were working with McKinsey and they were establishing their data science team for the first time. So it was very
Mhm.
unique challenge. Like we were leading the teams, we were leading the use cases, we were
Yeah, because even
presenting.
I'm intrigued. How big was the team that time? Were you the founding members or maybe the initial members there?
Yeah, we were the founders. So the initial team that we built was like 5 data scientists and 5 data engineers,
Mhm.
and we were directly being led by our CDI, which was Chief Digital and Information Officer. There was no something in between which was very related to data science. So
That's a
we
very
were
good
the only
exposure,
one.
to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, true, true,
Mhm.
true. We got to lead a lot of things in that
Mhm.
terms, like whether we talk about like we're leading the use cases end to end, presenting it to stakeholders. So yeah, in
Mhm.
that terms, it was a very good experience.
Okay. 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 So
Yeah,
you worked there for how much time?
yeah, I worked there for like almost 11 months. Yeah,
Okay.
but
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
because it was that type of organized, they were doing it for the first time, so they had
Yeah.
a lot of problems as well. And
Okay.
usually it's the case that okay, because we were working on a manufacturing site, so it was
Mhm.
the case
Mhm.
that things weren't moving that fast, which you expect when in your
Yeah.
initial
Yeah.
phases of career.
Yeah.
I would expect that I want to do things faster, or
True.
I
True.
want to have more impact in that
Yeah,
terms.
yeah. Yeah, plus data science projects
Yeah,
usually it cannot be directly associated with the software development project as such because data science it
mm.
sometimes takes time as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
in some
true,
projects
true.
you would do a lot of analysis and maybe the model is not
Mm.
working in a way that you would want and then you would need to go through the entire churn again. So it definitely takes time. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And how about after that?
So yeah, propose that. So that's why I thought maybe I'll get good experience. I want experience in product terms. So that's where I joined Axon AI. So they
Mhm.
were into this thing, like they were into NLP for financial services. So
Mhm.
they integrated a good number of data sources in terms of like financial news articles, blogs, or maybe earnings report and all that stuff. So
Okay.
there it was a mix of both work, like uh, predictive modeling and NLP. So
Mhm.
overall in my career, I have worked like even though in 3 years I've Paytm with
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
but in the fourth year Paytm will be my fourth company. But yeah, overall I have worked on NLP a lot,
Mhm.
whether in CS. PGP was the Pyramid Glass was the only one where I didn't work. But yeah, overall, and the rest of the two companies, NLP is something which I've worked on a lot.
Okay, 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 got it. So, okay, then let's come to the second phase of it. How did you search that there are openings in Paytm? So, what was the portal? So, was it a referral by a friend, or you already had contacts in the industry, or you directly? asked somebody from the organization. How did that go through?
Yeah. So actually, I mean, there is a part after action. So what happened was, I mean,
Mhm.
I had good skills which I knew, but action basically as a, because we also know that we are in a
Mhm.
recessionary time right now.
Yeah,
In terms,
yeah.
US is almost on the brink of recession. So I
Mhm.
was actually laid off by action.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah, so that was the thing. So but I got laid off around Jan 6, and then I started looking actively for jobs.
Mhm,
And in
mhm.
terms like I posted it on LinkedIn as well, so that I could also I mean, if I can get some opportunities from there, I
Mhm,
got good leads from there as well. But
mhm.
Paytm was the only surprising one, which was like I just did it normally. Like there was a link on which I applied, and they gave me a test which I completed on time.
Okay.
Like the test came, and the next day I was free only, so I just completed it, and the
Mhm,
recruiter got in touch. So yeah, I was also surprised. Like, okay, this is something which moved very fast, which I don't expect in terms of like
mhm,
doing a
mhm.
test. But yeah, once that is something, because I have like interviewed for a lot of companies. That is something I observed, that if they provide some tests, and if you just give it immediately or maybe just a day after that, so then
Yeah,
there is good chance, because a lot of people just either
take a
take
lot
time
of
or
time.
will
Yeah.
just avoid tests.
Oh, that's a very
So,
good point. So anybody who's
uh,
actually appearing for a data science interview, and if they get an interview link, they should actually be very prompt in giving it.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
So yeah, that was something which I was also surprised. So I've heard, because a couple of my other ex-colleagues have
Mm,
also interviewed for Paytm. So
mm,
when they got like this thing, either recruiter reached out to them and
mm,
directly, or
mm,
they were referred. So the
mm,
first part is usually something which is omitted. So either you have like the direct round, first round,
mm,
you don't have
mm.
the test part.
Okay, okay.
So
If
test
if you
part
have
will.
already given that,
Yep, yep.
got it,
So either
got it,
recruiter has reached out to you or someone has referred
got
you.
it.
So in that,
Mm.
yeah.
Okay,
So
so
yeah,
could
post
you
that,
just briefly explain how many rounds are there? So yeah, starting with that,
yeah,
and then maybe you can maybe
yep,
go
yep,
deep down in
yep,
that. Yeah, yeah.
yep. So overall, so if you, so this is one which is like you might give or might not give, the which is the coding test that
Mhm,
comes.
mhm, mhm,
That was around, I guess 2 hours long. And apart from that, I went through like 3 rounds.
mhm.
So first one was initial, that was also something which was at an abstract level related to coding, and then second one was machine learning and resume things, and then third was a case study, like
Got it.
to solve
Okay.
it at the interview, in the interview only.
Okay. So, and all the rounds for 1 hour each, or is it different
uh,
duration for?
so it was, I mean, it was different. They usually scheduled it for 45 minutes, but
Mhm.
some got over in 45, some got extended. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. And now maybe you can deep down in each in bit round. So like individual
Yeah.
rounds. So yeah, you can go in the
Yeah.
first round, what was asked and how was your experience, and what you would advise others that if
Hmm.
suppose they are going for a round maybe in the coming weeks or coming months, so how should they go
Hmm.
about it?
Yep. So sure. So for in terms of when I go about like the coding test, so coding test isn't like very difficult. So in terms like that there were around 8 MCQs, I guess. Basically more towards SQL coding, and then if you don't know SQL, they also provided the alternative of doing the same thing in pandas as well. I mean,
Got it.
it
Got
wouldn't
it.
be like if you're stale in SQL, so sometimes we don't regularly work with SQL.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
in that sense, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So
So these were the two
that was,
main
it was
rounds.
mostly,
Okay.
yeah. So first one, I wouldn't be like it was just a pre-screening thing where you have to give the test. So this something which was the first round. So there was a couple of SQL related and like data frame related problems, and then Python question as well, similar to the first setting. Uh, then yeah, then there was second round. So there it went into like more machine learning concepts
Okay.
and
Okay.
micro.
Okay. Much deeper. Much deeper. So in machine learning,
Hmm.
were they more focused on machine learning side, or it was machine learning, deep learning, and were they more focused on the application point of view, or it was more on the lines how the algorithms work and the mathematical formulation, or how is it?
Yeah. So in terms like my experience was based on NLP and deep learning a bit.
Got
Like
it.
there were
Got it.
normal projects as well,
Mhm.
but their requirement. So there's also one key thing. So when someone applies, or when someone, if they even if they read the job profile, or even if they try to read about like which, so because Paytm is a big organization, it
Yeah.
will
Yeah. Yeah.
be hiring in different divisions. So
Yeah.
division also gives you a good outlook of what kind of problems they might ask for. So
Mhm.
in my case, it was lending. So I didn't expect that, okay, it would be something related to deep learning, because lending usually there isn't much thing that are
Got
being
it. Got
applied.
it. Got it.
Yeah.
And
So
you
that
already
sort
knew
of,
the team that you were interviewing for?
yeah. They explicitly mentioned that, okay, this is something,
Got
this
it.
is the
Got it.
department they're hiring for. Yeah.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah. So yeah, that revolved around like mix of things. One was
Mhm.
like project end to end, like normal data science life cycle project, and how did I deploy it, and how did I like solve for a couple of things. And then there was also like the theoretical understanding of
Okay.
machine learning
Okay.
algorithms. So yeah,
Mhm.
that was also something which was building. Yeah,
Got it. Got it. So this was the second round, if I
yeah,
am correct. Yeah.
yeah.
So how many? So how many rounds were there after this?
So after this, there was the one round, which
Acha.
was with like head of the person that was leading data science and lending.
Got it. Got it.
So yeah, yeah. So that was like very lending focused. I mean, it didn't assume that, okay, you know something about lending, but you
Mhm.
know things about like leading data science problems, or maybe solving it end to end. So in that
Got
term,
it.
so
Got it.
we touched on various aspects, like what will we do here. So what are
Mhm.
things like very industry and problem specific, that because let's say for lending there are things like, okay, we just can't build complex models,
Mhm.
we need to take account for biases. Then there are
Mhm.
certain problems that come with lending, like imbalance. So yeah, those kind of things we went into depth.
Got it. Got it. So it was mostly a use case related round, you can say, case study
Yeah,
based.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. And there were these three rounds in the total entire
yeah,
process, you're saying. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. Got it. So yeah, so you have actually covered a lot of things, and you told in detail that how was the experience. The next
yeah.
bit that everybody would be actually interested in, that what kind of
Hmm.
things that you would advise others. So if suppose they are actually planning for an interview, what kind of
Hmm.
topics or domains that you would domains specifically or topics specifically that you would advise them
Hmm.
to brush up quickly, or maybe start with that and then go with some maybe advanced topics, or maybe on those lines. Yeah.
Yeah. So, in terms, obviously, I will say that first, it would be very essential to know that which department you are interviewing for, so
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
would frame a lot of things for you. Maybe you want to prioritize. I'm audible,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're
So
audible. Yeah.
yeah. If you are if it is, let's say, some department related to KYC, right? So in that
Mhm.
sense, the problems might be different. It might be something related to computer vision, it might be something related to extracting things from like text, those kind of things. But if it is something like lending, so then in that case it would be different. But the foundationals, couple of foundation things that would still remain same are that which I also observed when I was researching about it, that SQL is something they will ask for, SQL or pandas,
Got it.
and
Got it.
normal Python question. So yeah, it isn't like you need to solve lead code problems, but
Mhm.
if you can do like some basic, some tricky questions related to Python, maybe it might be some array manipulation kind of thing, or maybe string manipulation kind of thing. So
Got it.
those could be helpful.
And
Yeah.
language
And
is specifically Python, or you are open to use any language there?
no, I mean, I because I was doing it Python, I guess they,
Mm.
because they are also like they work in PySpark and
Got it.
yeah. So in that sense, it would be Python only.
Okay. 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 Got it. Got it. Okay. Okay. So
So
these are
yeah,
the,
so
yeah, yeah.
yeah, this was from that standpoint,
Mm,
like
mm,
from a programming standpoint. From
mm,
machine learning standpoint, I would say focus on the like obviously your department would clear things out, but still focus on the foundation and basics. Like it wouldn't be necessary that you go deep into like some NLP or some deep learning thing. It wouldn't be
mm,
necessary.
mm,
Even in
mm,
machine learning, it wouldn't be necessary. It would be very essential that you focus on foundational things more.
mm,
And
mm,
even if you take your just one project, if you are able to like go deep into every part of your project, so that would be basically helpful for your case study as
yeah.
well as like okay, this it would also give you a good understanding of would you like to present it, right?
Got it. Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
That
So
was
but yeah,
actually
basic
a
like
good overview. Yeah. Yeah.
it wouldn't be like okay, you need to go into some
Mm, mm,
depth.
mm,
Even
mm,
in machine learning algorithms, you need to, if you are saying that you are using this algorithm, so
mm.
something surrounding that. So let's say if you are using a tree-based model, then it would be essential that you cover everything, you know everything about tree-based models.
Got it. Got it.
And similarly, if you are using something else, or even if you are taking some validation strategy, right? So
Mm,
you
mm,
should
mm.
be aware of why you have chosen that validation strategy and why you haven't
Got it.
chosen some other validation.
Got it. Got it. So something on those lines. Yeah. Yeah. That is actually a
Yeah,
very
yeah,
relevant point. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. So Niraj, yeah, let's come to the last section here. If suppose, so this
yeah.
is a question I would ask everybody. If suppose
Mhm,
somebody has an interview tomorrow morning and they
mhm,
have only 4 to 5 hours now, what are the
mhm,
five top topics or top things that you would ask them to revise? And only five things. That's it.
mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So definitely like SQL and Pandas.
First.
I mean,
Okay.
it's either or.
Okay. Okay.
So that would be essential. And in terms of that, like it would also be essential, not just like knowing that okay, there's something, but actually practicing questions related to that, especially
Mm-hmm.
SQL ones. It could be
Mm-hmm.
like related to joins and all that stuff.
Got
So
it. Got it.
that would be essential. And then second thing would be like core machine learning concepts, like in
Oh, that's
data
the second.
science life cycle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So those things like well, don't make it tough. Like okay, it's only simpler things. Maybe like learning about bias variance, like very foundational things related to machine learning.
Mm-hmm.
And then third thing would be
Okay.
like your project. So project is something you can like you try to justify every point about your project, like
Mm-hmm.
whatever it should be, like you have thought in depth about it. It shouldn't be like a superficial thing that you want to present.
Got it.
So you
Got it.
should be knowing each and everything about your project in depth. And that there would always be one project that would be your strength,
Mm-hmm.
and in which you would have gone into like very, that could be your best project. So that
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
suggest that you cover each and aspect related to it.
Mm-hmm.
And and then fourth would be that I mean I guess I have four only, and the fourth would be that if you have time, then probably you can try out just to warm up your brain, you can try out some Python problems, because
Mm-hmm.
otherwise it would be the case we would be at that time we would be just stuck because we haven't done it from a long time.
Got
So
it.
yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Just brushing up. So some Python, easy questions you can say.
Yeah, yeah, easy questions you can try. I mean, that they wouldn't be like, okay, you need some concept to solve them. It would be
Mhm.
just like, okay, I need to figure out how to just solve this problem.
Got it. Got it. Just to see how good you are in Python. At least the basic
Yeah,
fundamental, you can actually implement basic logics and all. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Got it. Got it. Got it. So Neeraj, that was really helpful. And there are a lot of insights that you actually told. First of all, the case study that you mentioned, plus interview links, because I have also seen people that once they get the interview link, they actually take a
Hmm.
week to prepare and then give it.
Yeah,
But the point that
Yeah.
you mentioned, if you do it quickly, then it's a very high probability that you will get an interview call very quickly, and then you can go on with your round. So that was a very valid point. Apart from that, the
Yeah.
kind of experience that you shared would definitely help a lot of folks here. And yeah, if you're willing, I would actually give your LinkedIn ID below. So
Yeah.
so people can actually contact you, and then they can reach out to you for their doubts. That would be more relevant from your standpoint, and you could actually answer their queries if they have some related to your interview process or maybe some other interview process as well.
Yep. Yep. Sounds good. Always happy to help someone.
Okay. That's
Because
the
I
best thing.
also,
Yeah.
yeah, I also come from I mean, luckily I got in through. I always feel that I was lucky in terms of that I got in early in data science through a competition. But I know
Mhm.
there are a lot of like especially like people switching fields. People have
Yeah,
worked
yeah, yeah.
on a particular thing for a long time. So yeah, I always happy to help someone.
Sure, sure, sure. Definitely. Then I will tag your LinkedIn profile as well. So people can directly come there, send you requests, ask you questions, and then you can maybe start the entire community of discussion there.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah. So thanks, Neeraj, for taking out a time that too on Sunday, and we are doing it at night. So really
Yeah.
thankful, and it would definitely benefit a lot of folks. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And
Thanks.
I
Thanks.
really hope
Nice talk.
maybe in future, if you are actually working on a lot of new things, you come along again, and maybe we have a
Yeah.
conversation on what kind of new things you're working on.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, you are also like doing a great initiative helping all of the folks. So yeah, best of luck to you as well.
Thanks, Neeraj.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that was nice talking to you, Piyush. Bye.
Same here, same here.